Hello and welcome once again to
Aprender Inglés con Reza y Craig.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Reza.
And together with our 40 years of teaching experience, we're going to help you improve your English and take it to the next level. So you're very welcome to this podcast on the English language, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and this week, collocation, words that go together. So thank you to Adriana Salazar, who wrote to us and asked for some help with collocations. So last week we looked at the three verbs catch, break, and pay. This week we're looking at which verbs, Reza?
This week's verbs are keep, save, and go.
So words that go together with those three verbs to collocate and make common collocations. Let's look at keep first. Reza, what meanings do you understand when I say the verb keep? K-E-E-P.
Well, the general kind of idea of keep is guardar or conservar in Spanish. So, for example, imagine you said to me, Reza, don't drink all the water. We need to keep some for tomorrow.
So I could use save in to replace keep, that we could save some for tomorrow or keep some for tomorrow.
Yes, so keep and save are sometimes interchangeable.
There's also the meaning of quedarse con. You could say, I've decided to keep this microphone and not return it to the shop. So you buy something, maybe you think of returning it, taking it back, but then you decide to keep it. Quedarse con.
Craig, where do you keep the sugar in your house?
That's another meaning, isn't it? The idea of guardar or almacenar. So where do you keep the sugar? I keep the sugar in the kitchen.
Do you keep it in a sugar bowl or another type of container?
I keep it in a jar and then I put the sugar on the table. Yeah, so I keep it in the cupboard in a jar because of the ants. Another meaning is criar. For example, like animals or insects, you could say, my Aunt Mary has kept bees for over 40 years. What's bees in Spanish? I can't remember.
Abejas.
Abejas, yeah. So you can keep animals. You can keep bees, for example.
Keep bees, keep fish, keep dogs, whatever.
Are there any other meanings of keep that you can think of?
Well, keep can mean continue. So in the sense of seguir, he kept working until 6 o'clock. So he continued working until 6 o'clock, it means. Or keep walking until you get to the beach. Continue walking till you get to the beach.
So I think we used that when we spoke about giving directions in a recent podcast. And it's followed by, when keep is followed by a verb, it's ing in this meaning. So keep going, keep walking, keep speaking, keep listening to this podcast. So when a verb is after keep, it's ing, a gerund.
If you remember in the last episode, we talked about breaking a promise. Well, the opposite of breaking a promise is to keep a promise. That's when you don't tell the secret. So first you make a promise, and then hopefully you keep the promise. And if you don't keep it, if you tell the secret, then you break the promise.
And it's very important to keep your promises, which is something I'm working on, because last episode we said that Reza usually keeps his promise, well, always keeps his promises to others and to himself. But unfortunately, I've been breaking promises recently, which is not good.
Craig, can you keep a secret?
I think I'm quite good at keeping secrets, but I'm not very good sometimes at speaking about things I shouldn't. So if I know it's an important secret, I'll keep it. But sometimes I say things I shouldn't because I don't think, so I might say something to people that I shouldn't say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'm pretty good at keeping secrets. Are you?
Pretty good. Like you, I occasionally make a mistake, but only from time to time.
What expression comes to mind when you make a mistake and you say something you shouldn't? An expression with feet. To put your foot,
oh, of course, yeah.
Put your foot in it. That's something I'm often doing. I often put my foot in it, which means meter la pata.
Yeah. Same as Spanish, isn't it? Me too.
Other things you can keep, an appointment, for example. So you make an appointment, una cita. You make an appointment to go to the dentist or the doctor. and then obviously you keep it, or you could cancel it. So you could make an appointment to see somebody, and then if you see them, you keep it. If you don't see them, you cancel it.
Craig, it's very important to keep calm. To keep calm. Mantener la calma. Tranquilizarse. Are there any situations in which you find it difficult to keep calm?
When I'm under pressure, I find it difficult to keep calm. I panic when I'm under pressure. There's that famous, you see it everywhere on T-shirts and on the internet, keep calm and carry on. Tranquilizarse y seguir adelante.
Do you know when that became famous, that expression?
We've spoken about this. I think it was the Second World War. I think when people were under attack in the UK, the government made posters trying to make people calm down, not panic. And that was one of the posters.
Craig, you can also keep in touch with people. Do you keep in touch with old friends? Do you have contact with them?
I try to keep in touch with people, mainly on the internet. Sometimes I'll phone them. Sometimes I'll send emails or connect with them on Facebook. It's important to keep in touch with friends. Another expression is get in touch. That's when you initially make contact in the beginning. So first you get in touch and then you mantener contacto. You keep in touch with someone.
Because as we said earlier, keep is generally the idea of seguir or mantener or guardar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep in mind is another common collocation with keep. No olvidar, tener en cuenta. Keep in mind that we release podcasts every week, for example. Or keep in mind that you can send us emails and ask us questions or send us voice messages. Keep that in mind means remember it.
Keep quiet explains itself, doesn't it?
Shh.
Don't make a noise. Keep quiet. If you say to a shopkeeper or a waiter or someone like that, keep the change, what does that mean?
Quedar con el cambio. Don't give me my money that's, if you pay for something and there's extra change to give back to you, don't give it to me. You keep it. It's like a tip, isn't it? Una propina. Keep the change. You could say that to a taxi driver, a waiter. Keep the change. Have you heard the expression keep it real?
I have, yep. Particularly in American English, above all. Yes, keep it real.
Sé sincero. It's really important these days on the internet to keep it real. Be yourself. Don't be pretentious. Keep it real, man.
What about that very British expression, keep your chin up? What does that mean?
That means, I think, be positive in adversity. Make sure you have a good, positive attitude. Don't be sad. Be happy. Is that what you understand?
Yeah. In Spanish, I think you'd say mantener la cabeza alta.
Mm-hmm.
In English, it's keep your chin, which is barbilla, keep your chin up.
Keep your chin up. Don't be upset.
Craig, if I said to you, keep taking the tablets, what am I really saying?
Is that when you think someone's a bit crazy, a bit mad?
Yes. And the idea that perhaps the tablets stop them going completely crazy. It's a very strange expression, isn't it? But it's actually rather common in British English.
But it doesn't literally mean keep taking medicine, does it? Keep taking pills.
No, it's just an idiomatic expression which means try not to be too crazy. Keep taking the tablets.
We'll ignore you. We won't pay any attention to you.
Craig, do you like to try and keep your nose out of other people's business?
Yeah, that's one of my sayings. Keep my nose out of people's business. Keep myself to myself. Don't put my nose where it doesn't belong.
Mm-hmm. Craig, when was the last time someone said to you, keep your hair on?
Don't get angry. Keep your hair on. That's a very British colloquial expression, which means calm down. Don't get annoyed. Don't get angry. Keep your hair on. I'd be careful who I said that to, though. I'd make sure I had a good relationship with someone before saying that.
Yeah. It's really a very informal way of saying keep calm.
Keep calm, yeah. But if you said it in the wrong situation, it could cause offense. For example, if you went to a shop and you paid for something and the cashier, the person taking your money said, this isn't the correct amount of money, you need to give me more. You wouldn't say keep your hair on because it could be quite insulting.
Yeah.
You just apologize and give the right amount of money.
A bit too colloquial and informal for that situation, isn't it?
Yeah. What about the expression to keep well out of something or keep well out of it? If I said to you, keep well out of it, Reza, what would that mean?
That means don't get involved. Keep out of it, outside. Don't get involved in that situation. Keep well out of it. It's bad news. Don't involve yourself.
So if there's some kind of controversial subject at work that everybody's talking about and voicing high opinions of or loud opinions of, you might say, keep well out of it, don't get involved. It's not a good thing to start speaking about.
Now, there's an internet site that we keep telling you about, and that's because it's very good. It's italki. Craig, what can you tell the listeners about italki?
italki is a great place to go if you're looking for a one-to-one English teacher, or any language, in fact. If you're interested in learning Italian or French or German or Russian or Chinese, it's a marketplace bringing teachers and students together. So if you want to go to italki.com to find a teacher, there's a special offer through our website where italki are offering 100 free credits to people signing up for their service. If you'd like more information, go to inglespodcast.com/italki. And Reza and I have both tried this service. We think it's very convenient, affordable, and if you're interested in making quick progress with your English, we definitely recommend this website for you to try. Thank you very much, italki, for sponsoring this podcast. And if you have any comments or questions about the service, please write and tell us because we'd be happy to answer them for you. Speaking of saving money with your English lessons on italki, let's look at the verb to save, because you can obviously save money. Ahorrar dinero, that's a very common collocation. Reza, are there any other collocations with save that will be useful for our listeners?
Yes. Apart from the meaning of ahorrar, save kind of has the meaning of salvar as well. It can mean both of these things. Or also reservar, beg your pardon. So, for example, to save someone a seat would be reservar un asiento para alguien. For example, would you mind saving me a seat? Or would you like me to save you a seat? Save there has a meaning as reservar. Save. You can save someone's life. That means you prevented their death.
Salvar la vida.
Imagine in the beach in Valencia, in the Malvarosa, for example, someone was drowning and Craig saw them out of his window and he rushed down to the beach and swam out to save them and brought them back safely to the beach. He saved that person's life, we could say.
Speaking of living here in a Malvarosa, my flat is quite small and it's very important for me to save space in my flat because I don't have a lot of cupboard space. I don't have wardrobes and lots of areas to store things. So I'm always thinking about how can I save space? That's another thing that can be saved.
As well as space, another thing we have to be careful with is time. You have to be careful not to waste time. We have to try and save time these days. For example, Craig and I save time by generally recording 2, 3, or maybe 4 podcasts in one session. That way, I only have to come to his flat where we record once. So that saves me a lot of time.
It's actually a very good way of working. It's called batching. To batch is B-A-T-C-H. And when you batch your work or your repetitive tasks, you save time. For example, I'll be editing these podcasts probably together in 1 or 2, probably 2 or 3 days, but I'll do it one after the other continuously because it means I can work quicker. I'm used to doing it. And batching, although it's hard work at the time, in the long run, over time, really saves time.
And by doing it that way as well, it saves me the trouble of having to travel here lots of times. If I were to travel here, if I had to travel here for every single individual episode, well, that would be a lot of time and a lot of trouble. So by recording 3 or 4 sessions in one day, it saves me the trouble of traveling here. So save someone the trouble is another common expression.
It's interesting that it's not correct to say save someone the problem.
No.
It has to be trouble. That's the collocation.
The collocation.
To save someone the trouble. And of course, after recording these podcasts, we save them to the hard drive of the computer. So you save something on a hard drive. You can also save something on a USB drive. So it's the idea of saving data to a computer is also a use of save. As you know, if you use the computer, you probably have a menu that says guardar, which in English would be save.
It's time to go to go.
Let's go to go.
Let's go to go. Go, Craig. Go for it.
So go means ir, obviously. So you can go somewhere physically. That's the common understanding of go. You can go to the supermarket, for example. Remember in English, the preposition to. So you go to a place, which is often forgotten or changed in Spanish. So the question, have you been to Paris, is the correct question. Not in, but to.
To your destination.
Yeah.
Because you can go from the place you've left to your destination as well, right? Mm-hmm. You go to your destination.
Have you been to Rome? Have you been to New York? Have you been to Madrid? So remember the preposition to.
And other useful collocations to do with movement and travel are go abroad or go overseas. Go abroad or go overseas means to a foreign country. Craig. Extranjero. Ir al extranjero. Craig, are you going overseas in the near future?
I'm hoping to go abroad in August, but it depends how my family are doing. It depends on my parents, who unfortunately are getting old and they're not in the best of health. So hopefully, if the family are okay, I'll be going abroad this summer in August.
And there are many activities that go with go. You can go jogging, go skiing. Can you think of any more, Craig?
Yeah, I think we've spoken about this when we looked at sports, because there are some sports you do, like judo or karate. There are some sports you play, like tennis or rugby or football. But activities that finish with ing collocate with go. As Reza said, go jogging, go skiing, go sailing. You can go snowboarding, for example. Go trekking in the mountains, go fishing. So if you have an activity that finishes in ing, use the verb go.
Craig, do you remember Elisa's message not long ago about her having her palm read by the fortune teller? And her rather strange story included a couple of bald men.
Was it the men that were bored or the dog?
The dog was hairy.
The dog was hairy.
And the men were bald. But I don't know if they were completely bald, Elisa, or if they were going bald. There's an expression to go bald, which is quedarse calvo. So you're in the process of losing your hair, but you perhaps haven't lost it all yet. That's to go bald.
I think that's happening to me. When I have my hair cut now at the front, I can start to see the skin a little at the front of my head. I think I'm slowly going bald, which means the gradual process of losing your hair. If you are bald, you have no hair. But if you're going bald, it's a gradual process. You have some, but it's disappearing. And that's quite worrying.
Oh dear. I'm not going bald as far as I know, but I am going grey. There's another expression to do with hair. To go grey means your hair isn't completely grey yet, but it's changing. It's becoming greyer and greyer. So es quedar con cañas in Spanish, isn't it? Cañas?
Yep.
Grey.
I started going grey years ago. I've given up. I'm going grey. Would you ever consider dyeing your hair, tintar?
No.
Some men do.
Some do. Just for men, just for men. That famous product in Spanish TV. I love when they advertise it, just for men. Or just for men, just for men.
I haven't seen that.
Have you never seen it? It's hair dye, the teñir dye, D-Y-E dye, not morir dye, D-Y-E dye, but only for men. Just for men. I got it. Just for men. And most Spanish people will know the product I'm talking about. It's very well known.
Keep your hair on. Another expression with go is to go out of business. Unfortunately, with the recession we're experiencing in Spain, a lot of businesses are going bankrupt. If a business goes bankrupt, that's B-A-N-K like bank, R-U-P-T. It's ir a la quiebra, bancarrota. So to go out of business, to have no customers, to close, to go bankrupt. 2 more collocations with go.
Another good one is to go blind. Craig, can you think of any activity that could make you go blind? Well, they say spending too much time in front of a computer screen or TV.
That's what
that's what you're thinking, isn't it?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, that can make you go blind.
Too much TV time, too many flickering, blinking lights.
Exactly. I remember when I was a teenager, my mum saying to me, "Stop that, or you'll go blind."
Stop watching TV.
Yeah, I think that's what she was saying. Yeah.
Blind is ciego or ciega. You could also go deaf, which unfortunately is happening to my dad. He's going deaf, D-E-A-F, which is sordo.
Sorry, what did you just say?
I said, I'm not going to shout. I said you could go deaf.
Okay.
If you have the volume too high on your music. What about going crazy or going mad?
It's never happened to me, but I'm feeling a terrible feeling. I may have made other people go crazy or mad, like possibly you, Craig, because you hear my old jokes sometimes 20 times a day. Doesn't it make you go a bit crazy?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make me go mad, and I hope our podcasts are not making our audience go mad.
In fact, if anything, I hope our podcasts make our audience go wild with enthusiasm. Wild is salvaje, but the expression go wild means go crazy, but with enthusiasm because you love something. You go, hey, yeah, brilliant. Wow.
In a good way, in a positive way. Oscurecer in English, what's that?
That's to go dark, isn't it? What time does it go dark where you live at the moment, Craig, more or less?
Well, now it's the middle of the summer. It's going dark about 9:15, I think, more or less. It starts to go dark. The sun goes down.
Yeah.
We turn on the lights about 9:30. It goes dark then.
In Belfast, where I'm from, at the minute it goes dark at about nearly 11 o'clock at night. It's quite a big difference.
There's this idea of change, isn't there, with these collocations? If you're going dark, it's changing to dark. If you're going crazy, you're changing to crazy. Mm-hmm. Going bald, you're changing to bald. So there's that idea of change here with these collocations.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Not so much with go missing, though. If you say my phone's gone missing, what does that mean?
Well, it is a bit to do with change. Like before I knew where it is, but now I don't. So
True.
The situation has changed. Can't find it now. It's gone missing.
My keys have gone missing. Where are they?
Or a person can go missing.
Yep. You can go online, which means to connect to the internet. I'm just going online to check my emails, for example. How often do you go online every day?
You say, how often do I go online every day? I don't go online every day. Most days, but there's the odd day, that means the occasional day, that I don't go online. You look gobsmacked and terrified and horrified that there are days that I don't go online.
No, I was actually thinking, if you go on your phone to check WhatsApp or your emails, that's going online.
Yeah, there are days I don't do it.
Really?
Yeah. The days
Is that out of choice?
Yep. Quite often when I'm on holiday in foreign places, I won't look at my WhatsApp or email or anything in a day.
If I'm on holiday, then I wouldn't go online unless I was near a computer. I had to check. Yeah, okay. Right. But if I'm not on holiday, I go online every day.
Yeah, me as well, usually, but sometimes just once.
The final collocation we have is to go to war. If a country goes to war, it starts fighting with another country. Would you go to war to defend your country?
What you mean, Gibraltar?
Well, that's going to cause some
Craig,
emails, I think.
this can be edited, can't it? You can take that bit out, can you?
I could do, but I might not.
No, I'm only joking. I don't give a damn. I don't care at all about Gibraltar. And I certainly wouldn't go to war over it. Would I go to war to defend my country?
If your country was attacked, not the aggressor.
If it was absolutely necessary, I would. But I certainly wouldn't go to war if my country was attacking another country.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, the same. I think if my family or my friend's security was threatened, then I'd go to war to defend it. But as you said, not as the aggressor, not to attack.
Okay, it's time to... What?
Go?
It's time to go. Yeah, it is. In fact, it is time to go. But before we go, it is time to go. Yeah, you're quite right. But before we go, let's just remind you, wherever you are out there listening to us, that it's your turn to practice now. If you've got a question for us or an idea for a future episode, get in touch. You could send us a voice message and tell us what you think. Go to speakpipe.com/English podcast, or send me an email. That's me, Reza. I'm at belfastreza@gmail.com, or to Craig.
And I'm at craig@inglespodcast.com, but you have to go online to do that.
Before we go, as well, we mustn't forget to thank our lovely Patreon sponsors. They are Lara, Zara, Mamin, Juan, Sarah, Corey Finneran from IVNB Podcast, Jorge, Raul, Rafael, and Danielle.
And Manuel.
Oh, I forgot Manuel.
Don't forget Manuel Tarazona. Hi, Manuel.
Hi, Manuel. Sorry, I forgot you for a second. Thank you to those lovely sponsors who donate a little bit of money every month. And what we hope to do with that money is, when we have enough, pay to translate every single word and put it in our transcript show notes. At the minute, we can't afford to do that. But when we can, that's our objective. Thanks to you.
We've got some ideas that after this summer break, we hope to be able to share with you, a way of bringing you transcriptions for every podcast. So, until next week's episode, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
The music in this podcast is by Pitts. The track is called See You Later.